Hello, DigiFam. It's Prodigious, and I'm here to give you a deck profile. I know it's a little late, but better late than never. I'm going to be going over the new version of the hybrid decks. First up is going to be the red, blue, green EmperorGreymon hybrid deck. So let's get into it.
Wind into flame! Ice into flame! Unity execute! Unified spirit evolution!
Alright, so first up, for our Digi-Egg, we are going to run BT18 Coromon. As your turn once per turn, when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, draw a card. You're going to need draw power for this deck. It's going to be very important. Alright, next, we're running 3 copies of the new Penguinmon that came from BT18. He has your turn once per turn when this Digimon or any of your tamers would digivolve into a multicolored Digimon that is red or blue. Reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. This is mainly here for its inheritable, because this deck is going to play a lot like the original days of hybrids, where you mainly play tamers, but you will occasionally digivolve your eggs, and when you do, you need to have a use for that egg, or should I say Ricky. So he's going to be a good one that we can digivolve on top of our egg. Yes, it will cost 1 to do so, but it means your champion that you go on top of this is going to have jamming. So you combine that with the ferocity this deck already has, you're going to be able to go ahead and just do a lot of checks very quickly, and that jamming helps along the way. Alright, next, in my version, I haven't seen many people play this in theirs, I have run the Flamemon from BT12 at 3 copies. We run this one because it has the on play. By trashing 1 card with hybrid in its traits, you draw 2 cards. Again, draw power is key to this deck. You need to be able to draw, get cards in hand, or get stuff in trash. So you need to just draw, and see your pieces. Alright, next up, we're going to run 4 copies of the BT17 Flamemon. It has on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with a hybrid or 10 warriors trait, and 1 tamer card with inherited effects among them, return the rest to the bottom of the deck. It also has an on deletion inheritable that says, on deletion, you may play a tamer card with inherited effects from your hand without paying the cost. Very important and very good as well. And so he's going to help us dig, and it becomes a good source for an inheritable for getting out more tamers. And then last, I'm running, by the way, I'm running 4 copies of that last Flamemon. On this one, I'm running only 1 single copy of Flamemon from BT6. Reason why is because in my play testing, which you'll see here soon, the main thing you really want to do when you get into your big boss monsters, you want to have the inheritable of piercing. One of our hybrids already does that, but I felt like it'd be nice if we had another hybrid in here that we could go ahead and just have in here, pitch to one of our mini effects, put it in the trash, and then we can absorb it later and get that piercing. Alright, now, I'm running 2 copies of Kumamon from BT18. It can digivolve from a red or blue tamer for 3, or any other level 3 for 3. It digivolves from Tommy for a cost of 2, and it can digivolve from Korikakumon for 0. When digivolving, you trash the bottom 2 Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon, as well as when attacking, one of your Digimon or Tamers may digivolve into a blue or red card with hybrid in its traits, with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1, It also has the rule trait of Ice Snow for the Hexablow type of style deck. And of course, its inheritable is going to be a typical heritable that we are going to see on all the humanoid forms of the hybrids, and that is all turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area other than by your effects, you may play a Tamer card with inherited effects from this Digimon's evolution cards without paying the cost. So that's going to be very good for doing a little bit of script sources, and it's going to have that great inheritable. Now next we are running 2 copies of Kakumon. It can digivolve from any level 3 for 4 or any tamer for 4, so kind of a hefty cost. So if we can, we only digivolve that on those circumstances unless we really have to. Otherwise, we're going to be mainly digivolving this on top of Tommy or on top of our Kumamons for 1, or better yet, for free, thanks to Kumamon's inheritable, or not inheritable, but the when attacking effect. He has jamming, and he has on play when digivolving. One of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't suspend until the end of their turn. So you're going to get that classic Kakumon ability of being able to freeze the opponent's stuff for a turn. It also has the inheritable of jamming. So Tommy's there just to go ahead and have that great inheritable. Kakumon is for some cheeky little freezing. The jamming part, not so much, because we have that covered by our little penguin up there. Now next is going to be Kazimon. We're running it at 3. It's going to have the same inheritable as the Kumamon to be able to play our tamers back if something happens to it. When digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and when attacking, once per turn, one of your Digimon or tamers may digivolve into a red or green hybrid for a cost of 1, so, or reduced cost. So pretty much the same thing that we've seen with the other hybrid. And also same thing, we're going to have that higher Digivolution cost when it comes to anybody except for Zoe or Zephyrmon. Then we're running only 2 Zephyrmons. Yes, I probably should run more, but at the moment I like these numbers. Because like I said, it's going to be very difficult to pull it off in terms of getting the correct stuff in hand, even with all the card draw, and sometimes you just won't get the right pieces at the right time. So I believe with this combination, at some point you're going to see the right pieces click, but not all the time. But that's fine, because you're actually building towards a much bigger goal, and it's to get a lot of stuff either in hand or in the trash. Now, Zephyrmon here has piercing. On play, when digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets, or one of your Digimon gets plus 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. It also has the inheritable of piercing. So, again, kind of redundant for it to be both on the effect and the inheritable, but at the same time, it is needed. If anything, between these two, I'd say the piercing side with Zoe and Kazimon and all that is way more important than the Tommy and Kumamon and Korikaku. And again, these numbers are not finite. You could probably tweak some things if you want to add a little bit more in here, but I find these numbers to be reasonable. Alright, now going into it further along, we have EmperorGreymon from BT18. It can digivolve from Takuya, which we don't have, except for the memory fixer. So, not your typical Takuya. Now, this also has Raid, and when attacking, this Digimon may digivolve into a Digimon card with the hybrid trait for Digivolution cost reduced by 1. Inheritable, during your turn, get plus 2000 DP. We're not going to really be digivolving this, I mean, unless we just have no other option. It's just kind of there because we need as many variety of different names of hybrids in this deck as possible. That's why you kind of see my numbers of my cards kind of skewed, because we're not trying to lean towards one thing over the other. We want to see variety. That's why I'm only running like ever so many Akazi, so many Zephyr, so many Korikaku. So we're trying to go for more variety, so that way we can get more stuff in hand and more stuff in trash. Now next is going to be the Agunimon from BT18. This has when digivolving, you may return one card with a hybrid or 10 warriors trait, or one tamer card with inherited effects from your trash to your hand. This does come in handy if you actually do need to digivolve on top of your Takuya, or your Burning Greymon, or even one of your Flame Mons. It is worth it because it has come in the pinch. Now, we also have, for our level 5s, we're running Digimon. Silly little penguin. Now, this has the new hybrid effect right here in the hand that says if you have the 2 level 4s that make up its normal forms, the human form and the beast form of Korikaku and Kumamon, in your trash, you can place them under one of your blue or red tamers, and that tamer digivolves into this for a cost of 3, ignoring its digivolution requirements. So, yeah, it sometimes might pop up, but not always, which is fine, because again, you're not really going for that. It has Ice Clad, which is a great keyword ability. It means so you can go ahead and battle something that has only ever so many sources, but way more DP than you, and you could still win, because Ice Clad says, I look at sources, not numbers. And then it has when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards, and it has the Ice Snow type. Inheritable is all turns this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. And then we have 2 copies of Jet Sylphie. Similar situation. It does have that same hand effect. It also has Raid, and it has when digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. It can't unsuspend until the end of their turn. This too has come in handy at quite a few turns in my test plays. Inheritable is the same as the last level 5 of all turns this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. And then last, I'm running 2 copies for our level 5s of Aldemon from BT7. This is the great one because, unlike the other one, it does not have a text in here like we're about to read. It says when your Digimon that has a tamer and its Digivolution cards would digivolve into this in your hand, reduce the Digivolution cost by 2. So if you actually do end up going down the path of actually just trying to level up like normal and go in on top of your tamer and into your hybrid and then into this, it's only going to cost you 1. So that's too good to not pass up right there. Now, it has when digivolving. If this Digimon has a Digimon card with hybrid in its Digivolution cards, this Digimon gets plus 4000. So by itself, for a turn, it becomes a 12k. And then its inheritable is your turn, while this Digimon has a hybrid form or 10 warriors type. Option cards checked by this Digimon do not activate their security effects. So, great way to protect your big top end of EmperorGreymon, which is what we're going to get into next. He can digivolve from a Takuya Kambara with 5 hybrid trait cards under it for a cost of 5. Otherwise, it can digivolve from a green, blue, or red level 5 for 5. Now, we will have ways that we're going to get into more on what makes this deck special, that you can actually get around that hefty cost. But, let's see, we have when digivolving. For each color in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, trash any one Digivolution card of your opponent's Digimon and suspend one of their Digimon, then this Digimon may attack. So you get the strip sources, you also get the suspend stuff, and it gets to attack even if the memory goes over. That is great. Now, on top of all that, it has a your turn once per turn effect of when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, it gains security attack plus 1 and unsuspends. Even more power on top of all that. So you Evo, you swing, you aim for a Digimon, hopefully you have your piercings, that way you still get the security check, you unsuspend. Alright, now, I am running 1 copy of Susanamon Ace. This card says it digivolves from a Takuya Kambara or Koji with 10 hybrid cards under it for a cost of 6. Otherwise, it digivolves from any color level 6 for a cost of 6. It has the hand counterblast digivolve ability. It also has when digivolving and when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 1000 DP or less. For each color in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, add 2000 to this DP-based deletion effect's maximum. As well as when attacking, by placing up to 5 Tamer cards from this Digimon's Digivolution cards as your bottom security cards, trash your opponent's top security card for each card placed by this effect. It also, unlike the other Susanomon we had a while back in BT7, it has a rule trait saying it is considered to be a hybrid form. So you can use this in conjunction with grabbing it with your other cards that we have in this deck that says you can grab a hybrid. The only thing to be leery of is that big overflow of -5. Now on to our options before we hit our tamers. We have 3 copies of the Ancient Protectors. While you have a tamer or Digimon card with hybrid trait, you may ignore this card's color requirements. Main, you may return one Digimon card with the hybrid or 10 Warriors trait from your trash to the hand. Then you play one Digimon card with the 10 Warriors trait or one Tamer card with an inherited effect from your hand with the play cost reduced by 4. Security effect is you may play one Tamer card with an inherited effect from your hand or trash without paying the cost, then add this card to your hand. There will be certain situations where we might use this to grab back a Digimon, one of our hybrids. But the biggest thing we're going to probably use this for is we're going to use this to help us cheat out our tamers. Our tamers are all 4 and 5 cost tamers. But if we use this card, not only do we grab back a random Digimon hybrid from our trash, but we also get to play a tamer for a reduced cost. That's why we're running at 3. Now, we also have a new option card, just like in the anime, Wind to Fire, Ice to Sword. It does require red, green, and blue on the field to be able to activate this card. But I believe with your color combinations of what cards you do have in this deck, it is very easily done, because you're going to have a sticky body in the form of the Penguinmon that gives you jamming. You can even go ahead and just keep that rookie in the raising, so that way you keep at least 2 colors on board at all times. So that means the only thing you need is the green. But this card says you may place up to 5 cards with the hybrid trait and different names from your hand or trash under one of your tamers. Then one of your tamers with 5 or more cards under it may digivolve into EmperorGreymon from the hand or trash, ignoring its digivolution conditions and without paying the cost. So this card basically makes it so that way you can make any tamer become a pseudo Koji in Takuya, so that way you can get your 5 hybrids underneath it, get your inheritables, and then digivolve into it. Now, I am running 1 copy of Ruler of Destruction and Regeneration. While you have a Digimon with hybrid or 10 Warriors trait, you may ignore this card's color requirements. Main, one of your Digimon or Tamers may digivolve into Susanomon in your hand or trash without paying the cost. Then by placing up to 4 of your Tamers with different colors as the bottom Digivolution card of one of your Susanomon, for each card placed, gain 1 memory. It also has the inheritable, or not inheritable, but security effect of you may play a Tamer with inherited effects without paying the cost, and add this card to your hand. And I should also mention that the Wind to Fire, Ice to Sword, same thing. So all of our options have security effects that says you get to play a Tamer and then add this card to your hand. Now on to our Tamers. We have Tommy. Start your main phase. By trashing 1 card with hybrid or 10 Warriors trait in your hand, you gain a memory. It also has the inheritable of, when attacking once per turn, trash the bottom Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if your opponent has no Digimon with Digivolution cards, you get to draw 1. So he's going to help us gain a little bit of card draw under the right circumstances, and he will even give us a little bit of memory. So it's okay. It's probably not the better out of the bunch of Tamers. I would much personally probably run more copies of Zoe, but I'm keeping it a strict balance of 3 and 3 here. And again, if you all want to experiment with the ratios yourselves and adjust them as needed, you can. But if I could, I would probably run Zoe at 4 almost. Like sometimes I really do consider running at 4. Zoe has started your main phase by trashing one card in your hand that is hybrid or 10 warriors. You draw a card. So she actually helps us further our game plan of trying to cipher through our deck, get more different hybrids in our hand or in our trash, just so we have different numbers to go off of. And then her inheritable is all turns once per turn. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon by battle, you may play one Tamer card with inherited effects from your hand without paying the cost. So if you use her in conjunction to her hybrid form's ability to have piercing or raid, you can potentially play out some more Tamers with that inheritable. It doesn't always happen, but it can help. And then last, I'm running 3 copies of the new Takuya and Koji Dual Tamer. This thing costs 5 memory. It is a memory fixer. It also has start of your main phase. You may place up to 1 card with hybrid trait with different names from your trash as this tamer's bottom cards. For each of your other tamers, increase the number of this effect may place by 2. So if you get at least 1 other tamer out, you're getting 3 inheritables. If you have at least a total of this plus 1 of each of the others, you are getting 5 already. Now, my game testing, on rare occasions, I have gotten the Ruler of Destruction and Regeneration to go off, and I did actually tuck in a couple of Tamers just to go ahead and then shoot them back off with Susanumon to trash security, not to mention refill my own security. It's not very often because the deck itself is already pretty aggro. It does a lot on its own. Now, my next deck profile that I'm going to do here shortly is going to be on the other side of the coin, and that's going to be for Magna Gurumon. And that one actually has a little bit of some extra spice in it to help it fulfill some requirements to do its thing. So, if you've liked the profile and you look forward to seeing more, please subscribe, ring that little bell, so that way you don't miss when my videos go up. And this has been Prodigious, and I will see you next time.